Hey gamers, how's it going? Welcome to my channel, Addicted Gaming Geek. I'm your host as always, Addicted Gamer. Today we have the final installment of Saint Sage's Let's Play walkthrough. This will be video number 5, and if I'm not mistaken, we have the final episodes, the final fights, which will pitch us against Gemini. Marine will fight against Gemini, and after that, if memory serves, it will be the final fight between Sager and well, we'll see who he fights against with. But it's obviously the Pope and the person behind the mask. We'll see who it turns out to be. So let's just skip this event and go straight to the battle. So yeah, just looking at my previous episodes and the grade or the rank I was able to get. So far I think I've done pretty awesome. S ranks for absolutely every single episode. It hasn't posed that much difficulty, especially that I'm playing on hard difficulty. Um, I don't know if the game's particularly easy, but it's been quite fun. But yes, I've managed to get S ranks for absolutely everything. So today we're gonna play with Marine. So let's see how that goes. So Marine is a silver saint of the Aguila constellation. Aguila meaning eagle. She's generally referred as the Eagle Marine. And what's missing from the actual game, which I haven't noticed until now, so we set off from the Sanctuary Arc where the heroes begin to go from one temple to the other. But prior to that, what happened was the Pope actually ordered the Silver Saints to kill the Bronze Saints, which, according to him, were traitors. So Marine went with another saint called Lizard Misty. Luckily enough for our heroes, with Mu's help, they were able to deceive Misty, making him believe that she had actually killed Sager. Misty unfortunately discovered the truth and fought with Sager, but he was defeated by Sager. This obviously is not depicted in the game, but this is actually what happened prior to the commencement of the Sanctuary Arc. So after the fight between Sager and Mr. Lizard, Marine returns back to the site, trying to keep up the ruse of what actually had transpired. Unfortunately for Marine, Asterions had a mind-reading technique and he was able to uncover the truth. Marine engaged Asterion and she essentially defeated him. She didn't kill him, but she essentially defeated him. And after the fight, she told Asterion to go back to the sanctuary and sent the Pope a message that she had disappeared for some time. She was able to convince Asterion that the Pope was actually a traitor and he was not who he was stating he was. And she left a message for Seiya in the sand, telling him that Athena was in fact Saori and she was the true Athena. So after that, she disappeared for some time, as I had already mentioned, and she decided to reappear and to go to the Bronze Saint's aid, and that's what we're doing now. She's gone to the temple, to the sanctuary, and she's going to fight against another illusion of Gemini. So I'm going to focus now, and let's see how I do. So I need to grab him 5 times. Let's see if I can do that. Hopefully I'll be able to grab him, say 3 times now, and in the next bout I'll be able to grab him 2 extra times. He seems to be blocking quite well compared to the other encounters. Throw. And I need to finish him with a special move. Need to remember that, not a big back attack, but a special move. Cool, another throw, and let's see if I can get him with my special move now. Need to be careful. Another. Yeah, cool. I did, can't remember the name, but the equivalent of Sega's Pegasus attack. What was it called again? Yeah, Ryu Seiken, which is Mitra punch, the same as Pegasus punch. And the next rank, cool. Did it get him 5 times? Yeah. What can you do? I will have to replay it to try to get 100% completion by getting those 2 minimum requirements. But I did get an S rank, which is what I really want to. So yeah, she's uncovered the truth that the Grand Pope is It's a poster. Obviously, she found the body of the Pope, which had been dead for quite a few years, and he's been portraying as the Pope for the last 13 years, give and take. Cool, so we go on to the next episodic section. And we are nearly there. So Path to the Grand Pope. I'm assuming this is just another narrative, because I don't see any heroes. So cool, let's just watch it. I'm assuming it will be Seiya going up. Yeah, there you go. So obviously Sage is now heading to the Pope's palace, and but essentially he's going to be poisoned by Pisces, Aphrodite's demon roses along the stairway, which we were already informed about this when Andromeda fought against Pisces, that even though Pisces could be defeated, that he would never reach the Pope, because essentially the path is littered with demon roses, and it's impossible to get through. So Marine obviously appears and tries to help Seiya. So I don't know if it's gonna come up in this little episode that we're watching now, but definitely manga. What happens is Egon Marine or Aguila Marine gives her mask to Seiya, and she helps him up, and they both walk up the stairs. But unfortunately, obviously, without the mask, she faints because she's inhaling all the poisonous fumes of the roses. But yeah, you see what's happening now. I think that's a mistake from the producers. Seiya should have had the mask on instead of Marine. A little bit of a trivia there. Yeah, Seiya should have had the mask on now instead of Marine. That's how he's able to stop inhaling the fumes, get some fresh oxygen in, and then they both walk up. Marine helps him halfway through, but then also she faints because she's the one not wearing the mask. So that's a little bit of a mistake from... You see, she's fainted again, and does she have a mask on? Yeah, she shouldn't have a mask on. Anyway, goes to show the level of my geekiness that I know those little details. But yeah, it's an amazing anime. I've really enjoyed playing the game. Very, really nostalgic. Takes me back to when I originally watched the Sanctuary arc for the very first time. Yeah. So Marine essentially obviously doesn't want to leave Marine back because he knows that the poison would eventually take over her and kill her. So in the anime he does Pegasus, he's going to do the same now. He's going to use his technique to blow away the roses, burn them, blow them away. You have your pick, you take your pick. Yep, so Shane has appeared and she's told Seiya not to worry, that she'll take care of Marine. And just an extra bit of information, when Marine eventually recovers, she explains to Shayna that she obviously went to Star Hill to discover the Pope's real identity, and she shows Shayna the corpse, and the truth is obviously finally revealed that the Pope was supplanted by and there you go, by Saga Gemini. And as you can see, there's no other further episodes, so this is the final one of the Sanctuary arc, and also had a great time playing the game, and it's taken me 5 videos to complete the arc. Hopefully it'll be more or less the same with the Asgard and Poseidon arc after I finish this one, but let's see what happens. So Gemini is very interesting. From my point of view, I believe it's probably the first saint that Samani Kurumada, obviously the creator of Saint Seiya, I think he tried to tackle the issue of mental health, because essentially what's happening to Samani, he's often described as a character which has immense goodness, but at the same time, darkness, which can only be described as a demon. And it was these two polarized aspects of his personality that essentially developed. He developed a split personality, schizophrenia, bipolar, you name it. Essentially, Saga had a split personality. He wasn't possessed. He wasn't demon. Essentially, he had two personalities in him, and these are the two sides. Which are portrayed through the arc. Essentially, when he has the blue hair, which he has right now, this is essentially the good side of Saga, and hopefully the producers of the game will do the game justice. Essentially, when Saga turns evil, his hair grows grey, and this is obviously when he's tapping into, or his evil personality takes hold of him. But I think it's really cool, considering this game was done in the 1980s. As far as my opinion goes, they tackled mental health, they tackled sexuality, and everything through a very cool plot with different aspects, different powers, and essentially did a really cool animation anime. I mean, I don't know if this was Kurumada's true intentions, but definitely considering modern takes of these issues and the way that the characters come through, definitely what we see now is obviously that Saga essentially has a multi-personality. Obviously a bit more elaborate, whereby his hair changes color, so they're thrown in a dash of anime or theatrics. But essentially, this is what's happening right now. So Saga, by tapping into his good personality, has revealed to Seiya that he needs to get a shield to save her from the arrow, which has obviously pierced her heart. But unfortunately, he's changed into his evil side, and they're going to fight against each other. Okay, so get an S rank and finish with a big bang attack. That shouldn't be too hard, hopefully. I don't really know how difficult Saga is going to be, being the final boss.
お前などに何も分かりはしない。
Although this wasn't touched upon in the anime in any big way, in the manga he actually elaborated a bit more as it tends to happen. And in the manga, the evil Saga says that he's the only one able to protect the world from the future invasion of Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon. Which, obviously, if you continue to watch the anime or read the manga, Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon eventually decide to take over Earth. I'm not sure if Saga knew something about this and the evil Saga took over, but even as far back as the original Sanctuary arc, it was already indicated that Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon could potentially be villains, which Kurumada was gonna introduce much later on, which is quite cool. That already at that early conceptual period of time, he could already envisage himself developing those characters for the future episodes of anime. Okay, so the fight went pretty okay, and I was able to dish out the final attack, big bang attack, and that's cool. Awesome. Cannot get any more perfect, even I wanted to. An S rank and the 3 minimum requirements, so pretty cool. Okay, so yeah, it's keeping true to the anime and the manga. So essentially, what's happened right now is that obviously Saga is way too strong for Seiya, and he's about to finish it off. But if I'm not mistaken, Ikki will appear. So yeah, there you go. So cool. Ikki appears. Obviously, Saga believed that Ikki was already dead, and that's what he's referring to right now. And even though again Ikki obviously is not strong enough to finish off Saga, but essentially what the Saints are gonna try to do is to distract Saga enough so that Seiya has enough time to get up and to drag himself to Athena's shield. So I've got the 3 requirements already done. So I don't really need to do anything more but to try to get an S rank 2. So obviously I don't want to get a D rank or even worse, I'd lower my S rank to, from the S rank essentially. So let's focus and try to get at least an A.
九死に一生を得たその命を再び捨てに来たのか。この俺の命などいくらでもくれてやる。
Phoenix is such a good character, it's one of my favorites too. Let's see if I can get him with a big bang attack. Be really cool. Oh. Nice, that's Phoenix Row. Just a bit more to get my 7 Sanctum up. Let's see if I can... Yeah, there you go. And let's see if I can finish him up with a big bang attack. Ah. Don't think I'm gonna get an S here, but let's see if I can get him with a... Yeah, cool. Hopefully that'll at least give me a B. And this is one of my favorite big bang attacks. It's really cool. The Phoenix inside the vortex, flying through. Doesn't get better than that. And let's see what I managed to get. Not too bad. An S and an A would undoubtedly give me an S. So far so good. And again, I don't have to worry the minimum requirements. So, and let's see what happens now.
そろそろ限界のようだな。ここまで戦った貴様に対する褒美だ。しっかりと見届けろ。このゼミに最大の剣。
That's right. He does his ultimate attack, Galaxian Explosion, and splits. I think they get teleported to another dimension. I remember vaguely that something like that happened in the anime. Anyway, I might be mistaken. So yeah, this definitely happens. Obviously, while Iki was fighting Saga, Seiya was able to wiggle his way up, to drag his way up to the statue of Athena. Whoever shield is being kept, and essentially he needs to move the shield so that the light touches Athena and essentially saving her life. Aegis shield. Okay, so I don't think it's actually gonna be shown, but essentially what happened in the manga or the anime, after Seiya reached the statue of Athena, he took the shield and he lifted it up, trying to point it towards Athena's location. But at this point in time, Saga lands a blow on Seiya, crashing him into the floor, and the shield starts to spin around, the lights, going into multiple directions. But with a bit of luck, the actual light hits Athena for a brief moment, saving her life before the shield and Seiya are thrown to the floor. That essentially the golden arrow vanishes. And even though Seiya believed he had failed, in fact he had saved Athena's life. So obviously this hasn't come out in the game, but essentially what's happening right now, the Broad Saints are all together, and they all decide to offer Seiya the Cosmos. Seiya's armor or cloth, in fact, breaks apart due to the intense nature of the combined Cosmos that other Saints have decided to combine to try to defeat Saga. Saga was actually shocked and taken back that Shiryu, Hyoga, Shun and Iki were still alive. But yeah, so they decide to join all the Cosmos together, and with one big punch, Saga is essentially thrown into the sky. But even with that massive attack, he survives. So let's see how I do. This will be the final, because even after he survives in the anime, the Gold Saints and Athena intervene, but hopefully that will be shown later. Let's try to do our best in this final battle. Let's see if I can get him with a big bang attack. Just gonna wait until he's quite near death to activate my 7th Sanctum. fist. Hey, perfect. I didn't even realize I was doing so well. Awesome. What a way to go. The final fight and a perfect. So cool. Probably a bit of luck there. Just went essentially for it. I wasn't even trying that hard. But great. So let's see what happens now then. So yeah, as I referred to before, even though it was a massive blow, he was thrown to the sky, but he hasn't been defeated. In the action anime right now, what's about to happen is, let's see if it's portrayed here. The Goat Saints arrive and they try to finish Saga off. Slightly different. That tends to happen from manga, anime to obviously to the game. Yeah, slightly different to the canon. Well, this happened, but obviously not in essentially the same steps. I mean, I might be mistaken, guys and girls, better said. Trying to remember from my first time or that I watched the series, and I remember distinctly that the Goat Saints were with the Bronze Saints all together facing Saga. Anyway, just pay attention. What I do remember is that Saga's good personality does come forth, and it's a very sad moment, which, yeah, there you go. So Saga's personality forth, and obviously he's embarrassed, ashamed, it's done. Because essentially, even though, obviously, you have to look at this essentially what's happening. So, the evil Saga is doing all these actions, but the good Saga is within him, seeing everything through the evil Saga's eyes. So he's completely aware exactly all the atrocities he's done since the evil Saga took over. So in his way of viewing this, he has one possible, option, one possible escape from this. Yeah, and essentially he kills himself. Yeah. So yeah, so he essentially grabs the specter of Athena. And though it's obviously it's a PG game, but in the manga definitely, and the anime not so much, but the manga definitely, the stuff, the scepter pierces his chest. And of a positive note, of the final moment of his death, his soul is purified and his personality, comes back and manifests himself as the pure Saga he was always.
強い善と悪が混在していましたですが最後には本来の善の面が悪を凌駕したのですね紫龍氷河春一騎
So yeah, so that is essentially Addicted Gaming fans, that is essentially the Sanctuary arc. If you haven't watched the anime, definitely want to, to purchase, to stream, whatever you're into, but definitely, go to episode 1 and watch it. Essentially, all the different steps of taking in the game. It's based on the anime, but it's vastly better. And if you're into reading graphic novels, into reading manga, I'm sure you can find a free copy online. Give that a go. It goes into much more detail than the anime, as they usually do. They elaborate much more plot and character backgrounds. So definitely check that out. Let's see what have I encountered. So yeah, many unlocks, and I can see vaguely on the right hand side completion 90%. So I haven't been able to complete it 100%. I'm assuming that to get 100% completion, I need to essentially do every single minimum requirements per fight, which obviously if you've been watching episode 1 to episode 5 of my videos, even though I've got S rank for every single episode, which I think is a big accomplishment, I haven't essentially got every single minimum requirements. So trophy earned, and that's essentially it, gamers. So But next time I upload a video of Saint Seiya, it will be either a Sanctuary, sorry, it will be either an Asgard or a Poseidon arc. If memory serves, I think it's the Asgard arc before the Poseidon arc, but I will need to double check that. But yeah, it's been great fun. 5 videos which I've enjoyed immensely in completing, and I'm really looking forward in trying out Asgard, Poseidon, and Hades. If the gameplay is anything similar to the Sanctuary arc, which obviously I'm assuming it will be, you know, it will be great fun and something which I can share with my subscribers and you know, the YouTubing community at large. So thanks for watching. Until next time.